All right. Jimmy Rex, how are you today?
I'm great, man. How are you doing, Tom?
Awesome, man. So glad to jump on with you. This is a big deal. This is some big news we have here. So for any of you that don't know Jimmy Rex, there may only probably be one of you. Jimmy Rex he's one of the top agents, brokers, teams in all of Utah, most productive team. He also has the Jimmy Rex podcast show. He's written a book. He's an author. He loves to live big life. I mean, he's doing anything from tiger shark swimming to climbing Mount Kilimanjaro or, rescuing, kids that are being, sexual offended kids. So anyway, Jimmy, thanks for jumping on here. Man, there's so many things we could talk about with you today, but I'd like to hear about your real estate story and why you joined eXp Realty. Let's jump in.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey. I've been a realtor for 17 years now. And when I first got in the business, I was only 23 years old. I was really young and didn't really know what I was doing, and joined a little mom and pop firm. And I was there for about 6 months. I really didn't know what I was doing. And I almost got out of the business just because I got like 5 deals done my first 6 months. And I went to a Mike Ferry training, and they taught you exactly what to say, how to say it, and it's everything I ever wanted to know. And so I just dove all into that, and I joined Keller Williams about 3 months later. But in those first 2 months with Mike's coaching, I ended up selling 60 homes under contract. I was a machine. I was working 80 hours a week. I just was calling any and everybody and selling homes. And then I kept hearing about Keller Williams, so I went over there. I've spent my last 15 years at Keller Williams. In 2007, I was part of the original ownership group that opened our office in what's called Utah County. That's basically the area that I serve, about 1 million people. And I was one of the owners that started that. I was actually the last owner to leave. So I was the last one that was there from when we opened our doors. We opened in June of 2007. I don't think you could have timed it worse. Lost a ton of money as an owner of a brokerage, realized I hated it. So I sold out of it in 2011. It was kind of interesting because, I paid, $80,000 to be 10% owner of this office, and there was just no money in it. And so unfortunately, I realized if I wanted to be wealthy through real estate, it was going to have to be just as an agent. And so I just kept working as an agent and kept grinding. I had some amazing coaches. I was personally coached by Bill Pipes, Tom Ferry, and Bob Fitzgerald, 3 of the top coaches in the country. And I started selling, a couple hundred homes a year with just me and 1 or 2 people on my team. And then a couple of years ago, we kind of really broke through. We really changed our model to work a lot with these investors and different people. And so the last 2 years with me and 2 other agents and about 5 or 6 admin, we've been able to sell in the last 2 years, 700 homes. And it's been awesome. So I love everything about real estate. I'm an investor myself. I own about 23 homes. But the thing that really hit me, you said, how to end up at eXp. And what happened is I kept learning more about how to actually get wealthy, how to create wealth. As I got older, I realized how difficult it is not to make money, but to keep your money and let it grow. I made a lot of bad investments. I made the Keller Williams office being one of them, a bunch of real estate deals that didn't necessarily work out. And recently, the last couple of years, I've been studying Tony Robbins. He talks about wealth mastery. He talks about truly creating this wealth. And it's not how much money you have, it's how much residual income you have, how much money is coming in every month without dipping into your principal. And the more and more I looked at this, like I said, I own over 20 rental properties right now, and it brings me in maybe like 8 to 10 grand a month. That's not enough to retire, not the way I want to, Tom. And so I started looking, well, I can buy 100 homes. I can work that up over the next 10, 15 years, or I can start looking at other ways to create this leverage and this wealth. And then I started meeting some of these eXp agents and seeing what they were doing. And when they explained to me the model, It really blew me away, because here's a funny part about my Keller Williams experiences. I was the #1 profit share agent in the entire region. I have 16 pages of names of people that have come through Keller Williams because of me. I'm in their downline. They're my downline. And in 15 years at Keller Williams, I got paid $61,000 total with that many people coming through. It's just not, it's nothing. It's like, it's a nice, little bonus for, I don't know, like a pair of shoes every other month or something. But like at the end of the day, it's not really making any difference in my life. And I realized, you know what, like I do love training agents. I love coaching. I missed being part of the office, because when I sold my ownership, I basically said, look, I'll stay here at Keller Williams. I liked the people that were there. But I said, don't hit me up to train and coach and be part of the ALC. There's all these things they want you to do without getting paid for it. And I said, there's no benefit. I'm just building my competition. But I did miss that. And what I realized is I make so much per hour. I only have so many hours in a day. You can only use your influence in so many different ways. So I realized if I truly want to do that again and make it worth my time and effort, I needed to get paid for it. I needed to have a monetary reward for it. Otherwise, I'd lose my motivation around it. And so with EXP, the thing I'm seriously most excited about is building up that residual income, but helping agents do it along the way. Like I actually love helping agents. And now that have a huge monetary reward for doing it, I'm just super excited to get in and do those things again. And I got a new fire about me with real estate. Last year, I was kind of bored. I mean, I was working 30 hours a week I was, just doing a lot of other things. And to be honest, this year, I'm super pumped again. My team, just between 3 agents that are actually out there selling, we put 67 deals under contract in January. And I haven't looked at the February numbers yet. They're good though. And yeah, I'm pumped to be back and helping and building something really special. I truly believe within 2 to 3 years, it'll be the #1 real estate company in the country, because I've looked at it. I made you guys recruit me for a year. I mean, I really needed to make sure this was the right thing and you were the right people doing it. And so I wanted to see if you put your money where your mouth was and actually step up and recruit and make the calls and make the, the commitment to me. And you did. And when I saw that, I realized, you know what? I actually can build something really special with this group. And so here I am at EXP. And the funny part is everyone's like, what was wrong with Keller Williams? And honestly, I didn't have one issue with Keller Williams. I didn't have a single one. I loved Keller Williams. I loved the people in the office. I was great friends with the owners, the OP, everybody. I just can't miss this opportunity. And I know I'd be sitting there in 2 years as I am today, because I heard about this 2 years ago and past. And I knew I'd just regret it. And so it's funny. It's like, I don't have any reason to leave Keller Williams other than EXP is really that good of an opportunity.
Well, that's awesome. And Jimmy, you definitely have the 3 ingredients that I believe any successful person has. #1 is mindset. I mean, I love that you are growth-minded, think big, go big, growth-minded. You're very positive. #2 is how you spend your time. I mean, you're extremely disciplined and you're extremely focused and you're all in. It's like all in or nothing, right? And then #3, who you spend your time with. Oh my gosh, the people that you have spent time with. I mean, anything from, Tony Robbins to, I mean, the list goes on and on. So, Jim Rohn says we're the sum total of the 5 people we spend most time with. In fact, I was listening to one of your podcasts and I just love your positive confidence. I think, tell the listeners the story about when you were in your licensing school. You decided to get your real estate license, and then you got into licensing school. And didn't the guy give some sort of a statistic about how many people were going to be in real estate or something?
Yeah, I mean, we're in real estate school, and they said 93% of the people don't renew their license after 2 years. So in this entire room, there's only 2 of you that'll still be in the industry in 2 years. And I just looked around, and I kind of yelled out. I was like, well, who's the other one? And it's just, I mean, to me, it's like, if I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to be successful at it. If I'm going to throw myself into something and put that effort there, because ultimately we become the asset. Like I've worked harder on myself than anyone I've ever met, Tom. And that's why I have that confidence. I've spent over $700,000 on different coaching and to get to be where I'm at with my career and with my mind and everything else that I'm doing. And so I have no doubt that I'm going to succeed. Every day I wake up, I know I'm going to put deals together. I know I'm going to be able to find clients and help other people do the same thing. And so for me, It's just a matter of where I want to put my focus is what I'm going to build. And so I needed something to refocus me and get me excited again about real estate. And that's, I think, why everyone's like, everyone's like, even one of my friends came up the other day and he's like, yeah, I was talking to Dave the other day, one of my other buddies. And he was like, man, Jimmy seems really like pumped for real estate again. Like, dude's kind of got a second wind. And he's like, yeah. And so like people notice that, right? Like, I'm just super excited to be back doing that, because last year I started investing a lot. Me and some buddies opened a taco tequila bar in Vegas. I invested in 7 or 8 private companies. I had some investments go really well. And so I had some money to do some things. And I just wasn't as focused on building we still did 287 homes, but I wasn't dialed in and it wasn't as fun. And so I think with the whole COVID thing too, I was just kind of like, all right, whatever, it's a good time to focus on some other things. But I'm so pumped now because I know the difference this will make for people. I wish somebody had brought me this when I was brought Keller Williams, because with what I built, and by the way, I have over hundreds, I don't even know how many, seriously, it's 16 pages of agents underneath me in Keller Williams. I've never made a recruiting call. I mean, when I was first opening the office, I called about 50 agents. I haven't made a call ever since. All I did is use my influence. And so like actually caring about building this and helping other people build their downlines and things like that, I know where this is going to go, and I know what we're going to be able to build here in Utah. And I'm super, super excited about it.
Well, that's awesome. And what I love about you is you're constantly giving back and you're adding value, and you have just a great, amazing podcast, and you spend your time. How in the heck have you been able to spend some time with so many of these megas and these stars, these people that you've connected with? How'd you even get your foot in the door to connect with these top people?
Yeah. And so here's one of the principles I learned in life, Tom, is everybody needs something. And if you do the work and figure out what that is, people really like to be around people that give them value, that make their lives better. So Zig Ziglar always says, if you want to get everything you want in life, the secret is to help enough other people get what they want. But I don't think people really pay attention to what that means. Everybody's heard that a million times. But if you truly figure out what people need and then you provide that value for them, they'll blow doors open for you you have no business being in. It's like you said, with just the opportunities I get on a daily basis of who I get to hang out with and be around and spend time with. But we have these beautiful relationships where we're benefiting each other's lives. We're there for each other. We push each other. You can't hang out with the group of friends that we go out and hang out with and not want to do more with your life, because you'll just either leave the room because you're going to feel stupid being there, or you're going to up your game. And so it truly is fun to watch as people plug into, like when we bring new people into our, call it community or whatever, and just watching them thrive, watching good things happen to them. I'll give you one example. We were playing poker a couple of weeks ago, and the group of guys around this table, it's not even about the poker. It's about everybody hanging out. Well, one of our buddies there starts talking about an investment deal, starts teaching us a couple of things. I'm like, bro, I'm throwing 25 grand at this. I throw 25 grand in it, and it's been literally less than a month and a half. And I looked this morning, it's worth like 131,000, and because you hang out with people, like that's why the rich get richer. That's why people that have great groups of friends that push each other keep doing better and better, because we're able to get the information, to get the relationship. They do the work for each other. And so that's what I'm going to try to build with EXP. I really want to help agents. I've learned so many things, done it the right way and the wrong way for everything. I've literally made every mistake you can make as a real estate investor. But the cool part is I learned with myself when I was 24, 25. And so for the last 8-9 years, I've been able to help create over $400 million of wealth through helping investors and people and friends to buy the right properties and do these things. So anyway, so I'm just pumped to take everything that I've learned and help other people learn the same thing, and be able to introduce a lot of these people to the people I get to be around on a daily basis. Because as you do that, as you expose yourself to more of those people, your life will just get better and better.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, as we've gotten to know each other a little bit more, you asked myself as well as Randy Bird, Don Yoakum, Brent Gove, really the 4 key pillars about EXP. And number 1, the economic model. And we were talking the other day that it's almost financially irresponsible not to seriously take a look at the economic model with EXP. Number 2, the stock. Oh my gosh. It's gone up 600% this year. It's just amazing on the NASDAQ. Number 3 is the revenue share, to receive referral fee revenue share, as opposed to it going to the regional owners. EXP shares the wealth and shares the love. And then number 4 is the support and the collaboration that we all have a vested interest in each other. So do you want to speak to any of those 4 pillars, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, all of them, right? Like, I think the main thing for me is the world has changed. And one of the things that's helped me in my entire career is I've always been a little bit ahead of the curve. I invested in a company a couple of years ago, about 5.5 years ago, called Nikola Motors. And that company now is, it's an $8-9 billion company. And I was one of the seed round investors in that company. And the founder of it told me at the time, he said, the secret to all of this is you have to be ahead of the curve. You have to be the first person. You have to ride the wave. If you're late, you're always swimming to catch up because the wave has passed you up. So you don't want to be late to the game. With EXP, I feel like I'm getting in right at the perfect time because it's steady now. It's not going anywhere. The model works. It's been proven. It's got the reputation. It's got the people. It's got everything it needs to make sure it's going to be here. But it still is new enough. I mean, there's 50,000 agents today. There's going to be probably 200,000 or 300,000 agents in a couple of years. So you put that all together, and I feel like I'm getting in at the perfect time to ride that wave. And I just think for people that are trying to make a difference in their life, you can keep selling real estate all the time. Commission checks come in, money goes out, expenses go out. I've been in that rat race. It's so hard, though, to build that wealth if you're trying to just do it one house at a time or one investment at a time. So I just encourage anybody that's on the fence or thinking about it to take a look at it, because I looked at it for a year, Tom. I mean, I put a lot of work into this thing to make sure it was right, because I loved Keller Williams. That was the bottom line. I didn't want to go anywhere. And it ultimately truly became a situation where I said, I don't have a choice. I have to switch. I have to go do this now, because I know what it will mean for my future, my family, and all the other people I get to influence and do things for.
Well, that's great. And you're in the investment space very significantly. And so I'm sure that was also another part of it. The residual income opportunity with EXP is, it's probably similar to, 30, 60 rental properties that are paid for. How long have you been in the investment space?
Yeah, I mean, I bought my first real estate property in 2003. I've been buying and selling them ever since. Like I said, I have over 20 rental properties now. But I mean, a good rental property is going to bring you $300-400 a month cash flow, and you got to worry about the rent and everything else that goes into that, the risk and everything else, the down payment. I mean, that's putting 20% down on every one of those. And so ultimately, again, it's the opportunity to earn a true residual income and help people along the way doing it. That's what's so fun about this. And there's no reason, again, the world changed. You don't need to have a physical office anymore. I'm at my house right now. I mean, everything you have is right where you need to be, and there's this idea that most of the agents that I talk to that aren't willing to look at switching, they're just like, I just love my brokerage. And it's like, I know, I did too. It's fun to be around people, but it's a lot more fun to be around people while you're all making money together. And like I said, I saw, I'll give you, I was a member of the ALC. I was one of the owners, and I saw how that worked. Like any other company besides Keller Williams, they're not giving any money back to the agents. It's all going to the owner's profit. At least Keller does something. But even then, it's like, they used to manipulate instead of being a 70-30 split, we moved mine to 85-15 so that it stretched over more months. So there wasn't as much profit dump in one month, so that the office didn't have to share as much that month. There's things that they didn't have the agents in mind. Things like that were happening all the time. They did that with me every single year, because I would cap in 2 weeks otherwise. And so all these things come into play, and you're like, geez, there's no reason to ever be at another company that, there's no other company truly has the agents in mind, where they have ownership and they're building this thing up that way. So I'm just super pumped to be a part of that, because I know what it will mean when I recruit people. I know what it'll do for their lives. I know what I'm going to build myself. And that's all very exciting for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And a lot of this actually ties into one of the books that you've written. You end up where you're heading, right?
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So any final words, Jimmy, before we part here today?
No, if anybody's interested in, I love to share information and help any way I can. I've got my Instagram is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. It's Mr. Jimmy Rex. Feel free to hit me up anytime on there. Again, that's the best way to reach me. If anybody wants to talk about what they're doing in real estate or whatever else, I'm happy to help any way I can.
Awesome. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for your time. Man, you're an inspiration to all of us. We're so glad to lock arms and to work together, partner up. So thanks again, Jimmy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Reach out to Jimmy or myself, and we love to connect. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye now.